What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Believe in Miami Heat, brought to you by the Believe Network. As always, I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. Now, I'm here today to tell you what news to believe in the Damian Lillard saga and what reports are absolutely BS. Because over the last couple days, there was, 70 news reports, articles that came out about Damian Lillard. And speaking of 70, shout out to the Miami Dolphins, man. If y'all watching this video, you see I got my Dolphins shirt on. And if you're not watching the video, check out the YouTube side. Just search Anthony DiNardo. Or if you want the podcast side, search Believe in Miami Heat on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Y'all know the drill. But a couple hours ago, as of this recording, the Miami Dolphins dropped 70 points on the Denver Broncos. I mean, my God, do you think it was personal for Mike McDaniel? I do, but we're going to get into that a little bit later because there actually was a ton of quote-unquote news about Damian Lillard over the last few days. And if y'all are new here, I always say the quote-unquote news because really it's been the same stuff regurgitated over and over and over again for the past 85 days now we are on of Dame Watch. Now, there was a lot picking up over the last few days, which is nice to see because maybe it means teams are finally starting to talk again. We know for quite a while, Portland wasn't taking any phone calls because they had no incentive to because training camp wasn't close. But now we sit here with training camp a little over a week away. I mean, training camp is October 3rd, which puts us at 9 days from this recording. I guess 8 days from the day it'll be uploaded. So give or take a week, and things are starting to pick up. So there's all kind of stuff to sift through over the last few days. More importantly, though, I just got back from 3 days at Disney World. So I appreciate you, Joe Cronin, for holding off for a little bit, allowing me to get back home with my setup. But now that I'm home, I got the camera, the ring light, the mic. You have my permission to make this trade go through so we can go ahead and get something new to talk about over here. Because one of the reports that came out was a couple days ago was Adrian Wojciech saying no trade is imminent. And I call him a puppet because his sole purpose in life is to be the mouthpiece for Joe Cronin and the Portland Trail Blazers. So if you want to believe anything that comes out of his mouth, don't. I actually have an incredible video I dropped about Adrian Wojciech a couple weeks ago, kind of detailing his past and how he has a history of just not being a reporter, actually using his own personal beliefs or his own personal friendships to portray his views in order to help himself rise the ranks, which makes sense. But at the same time, you are supposed to be a reporter. If people are taking your word for a fact, it is a problem when you're just spewing BS to try to personally manipulate the trade market to help out one of your friends, which in this case is Joe Cronin. But his report was on ESPN that said no trade is imminent, but he did finish it by saying, but that could change at any time. So in my opinion, that's just his way of continuing to say that Joe Cronin is desperate because we all know that he is. And if you're a Portland Trailblazers fan watching this, you're probably commenting right now, oh, you just saying this because you're a biased Heat fan. Maybe, but where's the proof of otherwise? We got the report last week saying there's now a mystery team. I just uploaded a 23-minute podcast going through every team in the league, detailing how I believe no mystery team exists because either no team has the money, has the right assets, is in the right situation to get Dame, except, of course, for the Miami Heat. Now, since I uploaded that video, it did come out that the Toronto Raptors were supposedly that mystery team, which is actually one of the teams I narrowed down in that video, which makes sense because they have a ton of assets. They are a team that could substantially beat the Miami Heat's offer. Of course, they got guys like Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, who's a great player. Don't think Toronto would trade him, but if they wanted to, he is a phenomenal asset. And they also have 3 first-round picks. So obviously, if they throw all of that in a trade package, it could beat the Heat's offer. And maybe some combination of those assets could beat the Heat's offer as well, depending on what the Heat are giving up. We don't know if the Heat are willing to trade Jovic, Jaime, Caleb, and all the picks, plus Tyler. I guess that'd be all their assets. We don't know if the Heat want to trade one of the 2 guys. We don't know if they want to hold on to Caleb. We don't exactly know. But the Raptors are certainly a team that has assets to beat us. And they got a general manager who we know is willing to take risk. Of course, it was in 2019. He traded his franchise player, DeMar DeRozan, for Kawhi Leonard, 1 year of Kawhi Leonard. But hey, it worked out because we all know they won a championship. So you may be sitting here and saying, hey, if they would trade DeMar DeRozan, why wouldn't they trade Scotty Barnes? Now, you're right. That's a fair point. But that Toronto team was a team that was knocking on the door of the finals for many, many years. And it was very clear that DeMar and Kyle Lowry, that duo, wasn't going to be enough to push them over the top. And they saw an opportunity to get a major upgrade with Kawhi Leonard, and they knew that LeBron was leaving the East. So if there was ever going to be a year where they could have a real shot at reaching the finals, it was that year. These circumstances are completely different. I don't even believe the Toronto Raptors made the playoffs last year, let alone if they add in Damian Lillard, that'd be enough to even make it this year. I mean, I think so. I went through it. If they were to trade all those assets, they'd have a starting lineup that included like Damian Lillard, Siakam, Jakob Poeltl, and like Grady Dick and Otto Porter. Like that was their five. That's certainly nothing spectacular. I think the duo of Siakam and Dame would be nice. But when you're filling out the rest of the roster with a rookie in Grady Dick, a guy in Otto Porter who can't stay healthy, and Jakob Poeltl, I don't think that roster is all that great. Which is why they missed the playoffs last year. And I think it'd be stupid for them to go all in for Dame when I don't think he makes them a championship contender. So I certainly don't think the Raptors are truly in on this. If anything, it would just be, it could just be a smoke screen that someone from the Trailblazers can't put out there in order to try to drive up the price for Miami. But the good news is, this is not Pat Riley's first rodeo. This is not Andy Ellisberg's first rodeo. And if they think that they gonna swindle the Miami Heat, well, you got another thing coming. I mean, I had a line about it in the diss track. If y'all haven't seen my Joe Cronin diss track, check it out. I just dropped it a couple days ago. I think it's hilarious. It's up to like 80K views on Twitter. So people are loving it over there. But I don't personally believe the Toronto Raptors are involved. I don't personally think any other team is involved because we haven't seen nothing yet. And I don't think as time goes on, another team is going to just say, hey, you know what? We didn't think we wanted Dame, but now I think we do. So here's all our assets. If it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. And the reason Damian Lillard hasn't been traded is because no other team has stepped up. The only offer is Miami's, and Joe Cronin and the Portland Trailblazers do not like that. Now, even Brian Windhorst is out there saying that he still doesn't think the Heat and the Blazers are talking, which is probably true. But even he and his last couple of reports saying that could change at any moment. For all he knows, Andy Ellisberg could be on the phone right this second. So I do believe Damian Lillard is still coming to the Miami Heat. I want to put that out there. Shout out to my one guy on Twitter that keeps tweeting me after every single small report saying, oh, I'm freaking out. Are you so confident that he's coming? Yes, I still think that Dame's coming to the Heat. I guess you've also had the Sam Amick. He came out with a report right after this Toronto stuff came out saying that the only way Dame would go Harden mode and make it that ugly is if he was traded to the Raptors. And that report came out right after the news of Toronto being the mystery team was revealed. I don't think that's a coincidence. Dame very clearly does not want to join the Toronto Raptors, and I think he'd make it messy if he did go there. Because, yeah, Dame is classy. Everybody says he wouldn't go all Harden mode, but everybody has a breaking point. Imagine if you were the bigger person for 13 years. You were always the classy guy. You always tried to stay loyal and work out with your team and believed in every word they said. And then after 13 years of doing that, they lie to your face, stab you in the back, and screw you over. You still gonna be a nice guy? I don't think it would be. I don't think he'd be the nice guy after all of that. Because like I said, everybody has a breaking point, and if there gets to a point where you feel so disrespected that you have to act out. And if Dame was traded to the Toronto Raptors, I think we may see that. Because we've had some other reports saying that Dame would just request a trade again to Miami if he was traded somewhere else, right? And Damian Lillard has Sam Amick, who came out with that report, is very close with Aaron Goodwin, Dame's agent, and he's kind of been the reporter for his agent for the last few months now. So I do think that report is very directly coming from, obviously, not only Dame's agent, but Dame himself. And that's to kind of further solidify his stance that don't send me to anywhere, specifically to Toronto. Send me to the Miami Heat. A couple other stuff we heard over the last couple of days was Damian Lillard's cousin just going crazy on Twitter. He posted a video of him like on a boat listening to Pepas, which is obviously the Heat's winning anthem. He posted some cryptic tweets. One cryptic tweet just had emojis and then ended up saying something like Joe Cronin, don't trade Dame somewhere else, send him to Miami. People are buying too much into Dame's cousin. He's very clearly trolling at this point. I don't know if it's because he's clout chasing or he's just generally just having fun laughing at people, obsessed over his tweets. I'm not going to speculate on the type of person he is, so I'm just going to assume that it's something funny he's trying to do and he gets a good laugh out of it. So I wouldn't think nothing of that. So with all of that being said, and I'm sure there was a million other news reports that came about Dame that are just either so small or the same thing, I don't feel like talking about them. Who should you believe in this Damian Lillard saga? Which reporter should you believe? And the answer is nobody. Absolutely nobody. Because nobody knows a damn thing. As soon as you get a report, there's another conflicting report that comes out 2 minutes later. So my advice to you, and I'm also telling myself the same advice, stop stressing about it. When it happens, it happens. I personally believe it gets done before training camp, which means within the next 8 days, because I think it would be the stupidest thing in the world for the Portland Trail Blazers to hold on to Dame, because his value is only going to get less over time. He's 33 years old. You think his value is going up over time, Joe Cronin? The answer is no. So I think the deal gets done. But if it doesn't, it's because Joe Cronin would have to be a very, very stupid guy, which truthfully, I think he might be. So I think it'd be stupid for him not to get the deal done, but he may be a stupid guy. Time will tell. That's really all I got to say about the Miami Heat. I don't want to keep talking about this whole saga forever, because I'm hoping we actually do get a conclusion one way or another within the next week. Even if he's not traded to Miami, at least we can move on and get over with it, because we still got a lot of great talent on this team. We still got a lot of great additions. Of course, we're all excited about Josh Richardson. We all love Thomas Bryant, and we all love the young guys and Jaime and Jovic. And maybe with those additions, this team can make a deep run without Damian Lillard. But outside of all that, Miami sports fans, y'all should be tuned in with the Miami Dolphins, man. This is what we need to spend our time talking about as of right this moment, because they look like they may be the best team in the NFL. And I know we said the same story last year. And this Dolphins team, we always say they're going to dolphin, or they're cursed by the curse of the Tequesta or whatever burial ground the stadium's on top of. But I don't want to worry about none of that. I don't want to worry about how in the past 3 years, they've had 8-game winning streaks, followed by 9-game losing streaks, followed by 7-game winning streaks. I want to take this one game at a time and truly appreciate what we're watching, because this is can't miss football at the moment. Kids can't miss TV. I mean, you talking about 70 points on the Denver Broncos. Beautiful, magnificent. And the thing I love most is each week you get more and more of the doubters slowly being converted into Miami Dolphins fans. Now, you still got the idiot ingrates out there who are saying, oh, how can Tua be MVP? He's got a great scheme. He's got a great system. He's got great weapons. He can't be the MVP. He's just a product of all of that. When at the same time, y'all praising Patrick Mahomes, who literally had Tyreek Hill, literally had Andy Reid in an amazing system, but they were great because of Mahomes. And now Tua is just a Tyreek Hill merchant. It's stupid. He is phenomenal. I mean, 300 yards in basically a half, because they ran the ball the whole third quarter and he didn't play the fourth quarter. Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the league. And you talk about this running game. I'm sorry. I wanted Jonathan Taylor a month ago, and now I'm sitting here saying Jonathan Taylor who? I mean, Raheem Mostert at 31 years old is about to have a career year rushing the ball. He's still as fast as ever at 31, and we know for NFL running backs that's on the older side. We see these running backs getting ran into the ground at 27, 28 years old now, and he's sitting here about to have a career year. And then Savon Ahmed, loved him. He obviously missed today's game due to injury. You slide in the rookie Devon Achane for a second career game, and he rushes for 204 touchdowns. He is so damn fast. And it's the same thing that we heard all preseason, all training camp, all practice, but now we get to see it in an actual game. It's beautiful to see, because a big way to win in this league is you get the young running backs on the rookie deals, and you use them a lot early on. And that's exactly what I think the Miami Dolphins have in Devon Achane, and it is beautiful. Save your assets on Jonathan Taylor. Go use it to getting some competent center, because Connor Williams, my God, right? But just on paper and on the field, this team looks unstoppable. I'm going to take it one game at a time, but I'm going to pray that it all comes together and they can stay healthy the rest of the regular season and go into the playoffs playing like this. Because if they are, there's a chance they could win the whole damn thing, and it may just be the greatest moment of my life. Basketball will always be my first sport. It would always be my favorite sport, but I've seen the Heat win 3 championships. I have never seen the Miami Dolphins win anything. I think they got 3 playoff appearances in my life. And the first one I was a bit too young to watch. That would just mean so much to me. It means so much to my family, because grew up watching the games with my dad and all of them. It would be awesome. So I'm not going to get too hyped, though. This game was obviously very fun. It was against the Denver Broncos, who seem like they may be the worst team in the NFL, and Sean Payton's bum ass, who said a year ago that Tua would be benched. Well, I guess you were right. Technically, he was benched today because he was blowing out your stupid ass, man. Listen, I could go on and on and talk about this team all day, and Mike McDaniel, who was, I love that, man. Getting revenge on his former team, too, because he was the ball boy back in the day. And also, they didn't even give him an interview last year when they hired Nathaniel Hackett. You could tell he took this game personal, even though he didn't kick the field goal at the end for the record all-time points, which was 73, which I respect. I mean, we know this Dolphins team has enough bad karma. They don't need to add on to it. I'll take the 70 points in the game that I'll never forget for the rest of my life, you know. And this was without Jalen Waddle, by the way. So he should be, I think he'll be back next week. He was at the game celebrating, so he seems to be almost out of concussion protocol. And they'll need him next week because it is the Buffalo Bills. And that's a game that will be the first true test for this team. And if they look impressive against the Bills, my excitement and hype and confidence level is going to go up a whole other tier. And if y'all want to hear me talk more about the Miami Dolphins, I just dropped a video yesterday on the YouTube side. Once again, search Anthony DiNardo. While you're over there, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. And I'm going to get to y'all next time because speaking of Dame and things getting messy, Inter Miami and Messi's about to kick off right now. Kickoff. Is that what it's called in soccer? I think so. They're about to kick off right now versus Orlando City. Well, technically, Messi's not playing. I think he's still hurt. But Inter Miami's about to kick off. It's a big game. If y'all not watching them, tune into them too because they're on a magical run right now and a chance to go from worst team in the league to making the playoffs where when Messi should be playing, should be healthy by then, they can maybe make some noise and win the whole thing too. And I don't want y'all to miss out. But I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.